Janardhan ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
How are you?
Fine. Hare Krishna.
You are offering lamp every day to Lord Krishna?
Yes, Prabhuji. I am also doing that Ashtakam. Also, I am repeating in the morning and evening. Morning, Dharmodara Ashtakam. I am repeating in the morning and evening by lighting the lamp in the morning and evening also, Prabhuji.
Oh,
at least,
getting double benefit every day.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You only light once, you are lighting twice. Very nice. Okay. How are you, Sushila ji?
Fine, Prabhuji. Thank you. Here, Kartik Masa is being observed nicely. Yes. Yes, yes. Every day around 8 o'clock or 7:30.
The Damodar Ashtaka you should sing.
Yeah.
One lamp, ghee lamp you offer to Krishna. And then read, chant. Okay. At least whatever you have fixed number of times of chanting, whatever else you have committed, do that. And reading at least.
Yes.
To see if you can invite people to your house during the evening time and do arti. That is always welcome, because more people will get benefit. It is said Kartik Mas is like special offer. Prabhupada writes in a letter very nicely. It's like a special offer. Just very appropriate. I'll read that particular letter which Prabhupada writes. 1 second. Okay. Yeah, see what Prabhupada writes. This is writing, Prabhupada is writing in 1969 to one devotee who was asked about Kartik Mas. You have asked about the speciality of the month of Kartika. And the answer is that it is a special inducement for persons who are not in Krishna consciousness to perform some devotional service. Because people are not even doing anything, for them it is an inducement. For persons who are doing nothing in Krishna consciousness, it is an indirect inducement to take to devotional service in earnest seriousness every moment in Kartik. So, nice example Prabhupada used. In this connection, there is a good example that sometimes a store gives special concession to attract new customers. Bumper offer. What is the bumper offer? 90% discount. What you're getting at 1 lakh rupee, you'll get at 10,000. Wow, go rush and purchase. It's like that. The Prabhupada uses this word. In this connection, there is a good example that sometimes a store gives special concession to attract new customers. But for those who are already customers, there is no need of a special sale. Right? They will purchase at any cost if they know the import and value of the goods. Right? Those who know what is Krishna consciousness, they won't want any inducement. But for those who don't know the value, they require some inducement. Oh, Acha, it is so good, so nice. If you do this, it will good. If you remember, Shishiraji asked one question: what is the relevance of Palashruti? So, like this, scriptures are telling many things. So, it will induce the common man who is not doing any devotion to take up the devotion. Similarly, those who are pure devotees do not aspire for any concession, and out of spontaneous love, they try to engage themselves in devotional service 24 hours each day, 365 days every year without any stoppage. For devotees, every day they will be doing devotion. But for people who are not in devotion, for them some inducement should be there now. Sometimes children are given some toffees. Oh, you do this, you'll get this. So like that is an inducement for them. But nevertheless, we'll take all the advantage of whatever month it is and move forward in our devotional service. Okay. So nice. So Shobhaji, how is your health now? You're okay? You're not keeping well, right? Not able to hear you. You have to unmute.
Yeah,
Ah,
I'm fine, sir. Hare Krishna.
okay, Hare Krishna. Better. Fine.
Yeah.
So, Kamath family, very happy.
Fine, everyone is fine, sir.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, Kamathji, are you doing Aarti every day in the house? Not able to hear.
Muted. They're all muted.
Muted, yes. It's unmute.
Yes.
You know, I remember
From
my
28
school days,
we have started the Aarti. From 28th of last month.
What is that? What happened? Why can't I hear you?
am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or there was some
Little
correction.
bit, no video.
No video.
Okay, I heard you. You started from 28th of
Yes.
this
Last month.
month, and you're
Last week.
Yeah, last month.
I remember when during when school days, Sunday there used to be this this news for this people who can't hear, dumb, right? So if I can't hear, it will not hurt. Sunday before that film used to come. No, you remember? After
Yes.
Yeah.
30 or something, film used to 1 o'clock. Some film used to come. Some different award films used to come. I remember. Different languages, all over India. Some award films. So that one, before that, every Sunday they used to put this, this news for the people who can't hear. Like that, we also not hear. Gupta ji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
You are not able to see you. You are in darkness.
Yes. The signal strength is also not good. I'm not
Okay.
able to sometimes.
Actually, it is
voice.
becoming dark here nowadays in Delhi, Vrindavan, or North India early because winter has set in.
Yes.
No?
Yes, and a lot of pollution is there. Lot of pollution.
I also heard there is a pollution issues now in Delhi.
Yes.
No, it is too much. Right now, I'm on the road.
Oh,
So there's a lot of pollution around.
really?
Visibility is not good.
Oh. There's always a problem this time, no? Diwali time is.
Yeah, this time we are basically because of the farmers around.
Correct. Right.
We have to tolerate.
Rituji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Long time.
Yeah, we've been busy with some work or the other. We are also doing Damodarashtam daily
So nice, so nice.
at home.
Otherwise, how are you? Not long time.
Otherwise, I'm fine. Trying to do some.
You're coming to Vrindavan for programs?
Yeah, I'm coming. I will be coming on 7th also, and then on 24th.
So nice, very good. Dear Krishna Prabhu, Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
To tell everybody, our dear Krishna Prabhu and Mataji are very committed. Every day, morning, Mangalarati onwards, up to evening, they are doing services in temple. Full time engaged. They have given up their doctor profession and fully engaged in Krishna's service here. Very ideal example. They given up the sannyas le liya hai. Sannyas nahi hai, vanaprastha le liya hai. Correct, no? Dear Krishna Prabhu. Right?
It is Kshetra Sannyas Prabhuji.
Kshetra sannyas. Okay, whatever. You're at least away from the family. Otherwise, people are all busy in the family house. You're away from the family and you're living a simple life. Vrindavan, very, very inspiring. Okay. Soumya Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. let's begin our session with the prayers to Prabhupada and Lord Krishna. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Shri Shri Radha Vrindavan Chandra Ki Jai Shri Shri Hari Gauranga Ki Jai Shri Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we began our discussions on chapter 5 in the last session. We'll continue discussing. And as I told you, chapter 5, chapter 13, chapter 14 are very philosophical. It requires your involvement thoroughly. Then it is easy to actually understand. Otherwise, it will be all going over the head. But Prabhupada has very nicely explained everything in the purports. Nevertheless, if you read the purports carefully, you can understand, get a sense of what Krishna is talking. Okay, so we began this chapter with Arjuna's question. This chapter is called Karma Yoga, Action in Krishna Consciousness. Third chapter is called Karma Yoga, also is also called Karma Yoga, but it is actually prescribed duties in Krishna consciousness. What is the difference? This also has the same name, Karma Yoga, but here it comes to action. Action based on knowledge. The previous chapter, what is the title? Transcendental knowledge. Your action is based on knowledge. If your action is not based on transcendental knowledge, you will be acting with your conditioned mind. Right? You will see Krishna, when an ordinary person comes to the temple, he has some reverence, but doesn't know that Lord standing there in the form of a deity is Krishna himself. This is knowledge, transcendental knowledge. Because Krishna descends in that form of Archa Murti. One more understanding. Hare Krishna mantra is Krishna himself. Ordinary person may think it's an ordinary sound. Like you call any other Coca-Cola or Mr. John. That Hare Krishna also one sound. No. Hare Krishna is transcendental sound. It is non-different from Krishna. Abhinnatvan nama namino. All this transcendental knowledge is revealed to us by Guru, Sadhu, Shastra. These are all factual knowledge, truth, existential knowledge. I may not know that there is a big body called sun. If you are locked up in a room and think there is nothing called a sun or bright illuminating object, body called sun, planet called sun, no. If I think in that way, it is my ignorance. What is fact is a fact. So, this is what Bhagavad Gita is revealing to us, that you should know what is the factual knowledge, what is the real understanding. And from that understanding, you should see the world. That's what Krishna is going to tell us going forward in all the chapters, that we should have our Jnana Chakshu. Jnana Chakshu means what? The eyes with knowledge. A simple example I'll give you. Say when you are kids, you're all seeing aeroplane and you should say aeroplane, tata, tata. Right? Even now kids do that, no? I don't know whether now kids. We, at least I remember, aeroplane goes, you should do tata from down. So we were thinking, oh, so nice, some very wonderful object. But as you grow up in the school, you know that, oh, this is not simply running on its own. There's a pilot. There's a lot of physics behind it. And that's how it is, flying. Which means, as you grow, you see things with knowledge. That's what Krishna wants us to grow spiritually also. or awaken our spiritual knowledge. Our spiritual knowledge, we will see things like any other animal. That's what Krishna says in 15th chapter. We are changing our body, and from childhood to boyhood to youth. Then one day we're going to leave this body, take one more body. These various aspects in our own life, we are seeing, and we're seeing in other people around us. If you don't have proper knowledge, you'll all be, you'll think, okay, it's normal, natural, you'll think. But there's a phenomena going on. There's a reason why it is all going on. Why it is going on? This is called inquisitiveness. This is what Krishna is explaining us in Bhagavad Gita. Okay. So, action in Krishna consciousness is based on the background understanding of the facts, of the truth. That's the point. So, Arjuna asked a question, very important question. Because with all the different discussions which Krishna had in the previous chapters, Arjuna was still thinking. Different places Krishna says, I had to give up all the work. Rather, I had to cease working altogether. And on different occasions in the previous chapters, Krishna has mentioned you have to work with devotion. So Arjuna's important question was, Krishna, please tell me definitely what is best for me, or what is the most beneficial way of working, whether I have to give up everything, sannyasa, don't do anything, or should I work with devotion? So basically Arjuna's background of asking this question is that generally people think sannyasa means give up all activity, shantam, anantam. Right? The word called Shantam Anandam in Bhagavatam. Right? Shanti, Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti. So this Om Shanti, Shanti is not our way of understanding, at least according to Bhagavad Gita. Where is Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti in battlefield? Tell me. If Arjuna wanted Om Shanti, Shanti, he has to go to forest. Which Krishna said, you are a fool if you go to forest. The 4th chapter end, he said, armed with this understanding of what is the facts, you fight. Armed with yoga, you fight. Krishna said. So Krishna is telling one side to fight or act with a proper understanding. And few more places Krishna has said no complete, no activity, inactivity, one sense, right? So this seemed to be a little puzzling for Arjuna. It was incompatible for him in one sense. He has put this question. This is what Prabhupada says. A student is supposed to put forward such inquiries before the spiritual master to elicit proper answers so that he is clear, or he is very, his doubts become clear. Otherwise, keeping doubts go further, more things will be confusing, right? So this was the question, whether I should take up sannyasa or should I work with devotion, right? So Krishna said that actually both are good. Sannyasa also is good, and work in devotion also is good. Both are good for liberation. But I prefer working in devotional service. Why? Because Krishna has a point to make that in the present day context, sannyasa simply in the name only is not proper. Should simply putting the outward dress of a sannyasi, but within your mind, within your consciousness, you're always dwelling in sense objects. Krishna says he's a pretender, mithyachari. Right? So sannyasa, to come to that level of sannyasa which Arjuna is talking at least 5,000 years ago, it meant to prepare yourself to come to that level. Right? Sannyasa means you have to give up your connection with family, with social connections, everything you have to give up. Your work, you have to, retire from your work. Not easy. Until the last minute, you want to get involved in everything in your life. You want to be, controlling everything under control. Right? That's what everybody wants. But here, Krishna is the background which Krishna is telling us here is the sannyasa, which generally people think means give up everything and then go to the forest and sit silently. That requires some training. Of course, if it is properly done, it's good. But everybody cannot do. And in the modern day context, at least in Kali Yuga, it has become a sort of a mockery. People simply wear a dress of a sannyasi and they do all nonsense. So Krishna wanted to hint to Arjuna, yes, both are good. If the sannyasa aspect is properly done, at least it is a recommended ashrama in the varnashrama. Right? Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and sannyas. It is recommended ashrama. Only taken up, it is welcome. But in Kali Yuga especially, it is only show. There is no proper, the real spirit of sannyasa is not there. So Krishna is recommending an alternative, which even Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu propounded this. He preached this extensively. Wherever you are, whatever you are, if you have the spirit of serving Krishna, you are a sannyasi. Prabhupada says later in the Bhagavad Gita purport 18th chapter, you may be working in a factory, you may be working in an office, or you may do some business, but your mood or your attitude is to offer the results to Krishna, you are a sannyasi. Dress doesn't matter. So Krishna is clarifying this aspect, verse number 3. He says, Neya Nitya Sannyasi. That person is a person who is always renounced, Nitya Sannyasi, who is not desiring any fruits of his activities. Means any activity I do, results I am not attached to. And I am above all the dualities of profit, loss, happy, distress, heat, cold. I am above all dualities. Because he's fixed in his mind to serve Krishna, come what may ever. Right? So he is beyond all duality. He is, in that way, he's, even though in this present situation, in different various circumstances, in various different situations, but his situation is transcendental. Krishna is clarifying. See, immediately, is very nicely, Krishna is telling, yes, both are good. Sannyasa, if it is authorizedly done, it is good. Work in devotion also is good, but I prefer, Krishna says, I prefer work in devotion. Why? Because a person who is working in devotion, he is actually practical in his way of working. The way he is working is, he sees everything in relation to Krishna and is offering everything to Krishna's his satisfaction. Whereas ordinarily a person who is having the mentality is, I work and I enjoy the results for myself. Or I do anything, it's for me. This is the mentality people carry. So Krishna further clarified how, from the Vedic perspective, this sannyasa generally Vedic perspective means they start analyzing various aspects in the material world. Sankhya Yoga it is called. Sannyasis do this. They get into details of how this material world is constructed, analyzing what are the ingredients of this material world, what is the source of this material world. Whereas in Karma Yoga, what happens is, from the very beginning, devotional service, very beginning, you're offering service to Krishna. So Prabhupada says, in fact, Krishna's statement is, only people who don't have proper understanding, ignorant or foolish, they distinguish sannyasa or the connected understanding called Sankhya Yoga is different from Karma Yoga, but both are actually same. Krishna says very clearly, the position achieved by sannyasa and work in devotion are the same. Because in one way, you're trying to achieve in one path, you're trying to find out the root of the cause, the root of everything, the cause of all causes. One more, you're trying to serve that cause from the very beginning. Prabhupada very nicely concludes, 5th verse, purport by telling, In one process, you're trying to develop detachment from matter. And that is the Sankhya Yoga or Sannyasa Yoga. Whereas in the Karma Yoga or devotional service, you're trying to become attached to Krishna from the very beginning. Either becoming detached from matter, attached to Krishna are the same. So nicely Krishna is presented. Okay, so Krishna is stressing on the aspect of devotion to him, working for him with a proper understanding. This is better than so-called sannyasa. That is the concept in which Krishna is explaining. Further, let's see today's verses. Verse number 6. Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogataha yoga yukto munir brahma na chirenadi gacchati. So Krishna is further comparing the difference between a person who simply takes sannyasa, or there are so many sannyasis in the present day context who don't have proper understanding of what is what. For that sannyasa, Krishna says, Sannyasastu mahabaho dukkham aptum ayogataha. If the sannyasa you take, and it is not having any connection with Krishna, that sannyasa is very troublesome, Krishna says. Simply for the sake of renouncing, you want to renounce, but for what purpose? The very meaning of sannyasi means sat nyasa. Sat means the absolute. Om tat sat. And nyasa means giving up. Giving up all attachment to this material world and having only objective of serving the absolute truth, Krishna. That is sannyasa. So Krishna is telling, ayogataha, no connection with Krishna, no connection with, there is no understanding that everything belongs to Krishna, everything has to be offered to Krishna, everything should be used in service of Krishna. This understanding is not the ayogataha. Yoga, ayoga. Right? So, this is not the meaning of sannyasa. So, you'll only see a lot of distress in his life. That's what Krishna is telling here. One who doesn't know what is the real meaning of sannyasa, he is acting disconnected with Krishna. He only finds distress in his life. Right? He'll not be happy. Right? So, if you remember, Prabhupada quoted for us two important statements in the previous purports in this chapter from Rupa Goswami. He uses two important words. One is called Yukta Vairagya. One more is Falgu Vairagya. So understand these concepts clearly. What is Yukta Vairagya? Yukta means connected with Krishna. That renunciation. So Rupa Goswami says, I am dealing with all the objects around me. I have mobile, I have laptop, I have car, I have everything. Like Prabhupada used everything. He said, we can use airplane, we can use machines, we can do everything. But knowing that the source of all these things is from Krishna, should be used for Krishna's service. Anasaktasya vishayan yatharham upayunjata nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yukta vairagya muchyate. Rupa Goswami says, I am using everything because everything finally Krishna's only, it is Krishna's energy only. I am using all of them for Krishna's service. It has connection with Krishna. I am seeing everything in connected to Krishna. Right? If I go out, I can see now moonshine. What is moonshine? Krishna says the moonshine is my energy. I go out, I breathe air. The air, what is air? Krishna says is one of my energies. Bhumi Rapo and Alovayu. Like this, anything around you, it is only Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. You are surrounded by Krishna's energies only all over. This understand. Nirbandha Krishna Sambandhe. So Prabhupada used everything. Actually, at least some class of spiritualists, for them sannyasa means you should not cross the ocean. Sannyasis cannot cross the ocean. Sannyasis cannot go on a vehicle. That's why even now some of the religions, they say, oh, you cannot ride on a vehicle. The sannyasis there, they walk. And if you have crossed the ocean, you have lost your religion. Right? Whereas Prabhupada did something revolutionary. He was known as Jet Age Parivrajaka. He was using jet to move forward. He has traveled around the world 14 times, which no Acharya has done so far. And he has traveled almost every country across the world, established 108 temples, and did so much of preaching all over the world. So according to at least from the estimate of the sannyasis, orthodox sannyasis in India, Prabhupada is not a sannyasi. That is a wrong understanding. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Goswamis gave us a revolutionary concept of what is sannyasa. What Krishna is telling in Bhagavad Gita. So, when you don't see things connected to Krishna, use it for Krishna, then your sannyasa is not called Yukta Vairagya, it is called Falgu Vairagya. Prapanchikataya buddhya hari sambandha vastuna mumukshibi parityago. There is always Prabhupada gives an example. There are some spiritual organizations. They say we don't touch money. Oh, this is Maya. Right? Oh, money means it is an illusion. Right? So whereas Prabhupada says, give me more money. I want to use for Krishna service. Because money is Lakshmi. Right? There's a story which I heard from my seniors. In West Bengal, there was one great Paramahamsa. You must be, you may guess who is it. Right? He was in a village. He was sitting and he was meditating, and somebody told him that there is some money below your sitting place. So he immediately jumped and telling, oh, money, we can't touch money. It's Maya. After maybe after many years, Prabhupada happened to come to the same village, and similarly, some people there started telling the same thing. Prabhupada said, no, where is the money? Give me more money. I want to use it for Krishna service. So this is the difference. So giving up, mumukshibi parityago, you want to take up renunciation in the mood of giving up everything, but not understanding Krishna sambandha. That is called Falgu Vairagya. Falgu Vairagya means artificial renunciation. Yukta Vairagya means real, truthful renunciation. Understanding the proper knowledge that everything belongs to Krishna, everything should be used for Krishna. That's what Krishna is telling here. When you are ayogataha, means you are not connected with Krishna, that sannyasa is very dukkha. It is going to give you distress. Whereas yoga yukta munir brahma, that sannyasa which is connected with Krishna, which is having relation with Krishna, and you are using everything for Krishna's service, that yoga or that sannyasa, Krishna says, munihi. Muni means thoughtful person. Prabhupada says thinker, any thinker. So he is engaging properly in Krishna's service. Yoga yukta munir brahma. Brahma means supreme absolute truth. So he will very soon achieve that supreme without delay. Achirenadi gacchati. Just like you bless young people when you come, they come and take your blessings. Chiranjeevi bhava. Chiranjeevi means live long. Here Krishna is using na achirenadi gacchati. Achirena. Achirena means without delay. Right? Chira means long. Achirena means without delay. Na chirena. Means not very soon, quickly you will achieve the result. One who is seeing everything in connection with Krishna, quickly will achieve that. So Prabhupada is nicely explaining the whole understanding, the difference between Vaishnava sannyasi and Mayavada sannyasi. Mayavada sannyasi, Prabhupada says, they are studying Vedanta from the understanding of Shankaracharya. Whereas Vaishnava sannyasis study Vedanta Sutra from the commentaries written by Vaishnava Acharyas, especially Vedavyasa has himself commented on Vedanta Sutra known as Bhagavata, Srimad Bhagavata. Mayavada sannyasis, Prabhupada says, they think no activity, just like we have, there's a nice pastime of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. When he went to Banaras, Varanasi, there were a lot of Mayavadi sannyasis. They were giving comments to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that you are a sannyasi, how can you become sentimental and dance and chant? You're supposed to be Shantam Anandam. You have Ananda within. Shanti, Shanti. No dancing. Dancing is all ordinary people do. Right? You should study Vedanta. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my guru considered me to be a fool number one. So I can't study Vedanta. My guru told, just chant Hare Krishna and dance. This is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said. Then these sannyasis, 60,000 of them, 60,000 Mayavadi sannyasis, headed by one leader called Prakashananda Saraswati. Right? So they started, debating with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also debated. He gave all references of all Vedanta from, different Vedic literatures. Why chanting is important? In Kali Yuga, chanting is the only way, no other way. And this way, they all got convinced eventually, and they all became disciples of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They also started chanting and dancing after that. Right? This is what happened. So Prabhupada says, the Vaishnava sannyasis have multiple engagements. Just like Prabhupada, you see. He gave us so many engagements for us. From morning, 4 o'clock, night, 10 o'clock, we have so many engagements. Mangalarati, Darshanarati, Bhagavata class, go and preach, do that, do this. It looks like anybody doing anything else. After 9 o'clock, you have to go out and, meet people. You have to go to government office. You have to go to this police office. So many things, like any other ordinary person. But we are doing only for Krishna. Multiple engagements. Preaching. That's what Prabhupada did. Right? Whereas the Mayavadis, they think only studying, Shantam, nothing. There is speculation, understanding, trying to understand something. You have to merge with impersonal Brahman. That is what their understanding is. Right? So, Mayavadi sannyasis, Prabhupada says, eventually they become so disgusted with their Brahman understanding that they want some engagement. So they want some engagement, say to come and open some hospital, some social service they do. So if they say Brahman is Satya, Jagan Mithya, this world is false, why they should again engage in some false activities? Because as a spirit soul, what did Krishna say in 3rd chapter? Every Atma is always active. You cannot be inactive. You have to be active. If you're not active in the spiritual field, you'll be active in material field. That is the problem. So Mayavadi sannyasis, even though they say this world is false, they come and do so many social activities. Right? Schools, colleges, that, this and all. That will keep them busy, active. Prabhupada says, opening hospitals, schools, colleges is all government job. Right? We should preach. Right? Of course, we have school, colleges to preach only Krishna consciousness. That is a very good thing. Right? That way. So, basically, Vaishnava sannyasis know we are doing everything for Krishna's service. So they are assured of their goal, their path. They are not distracted. Whereas Mayavadi sannyasis, their ultimate goal is to merge with impersonal Brahman, which is actually very, very troublesome. Krishna says in 12th chapter also. There's a lot of dukkha is there to move forward like this. So this is the understanding. So Krishna is continuing to compare ordinary person who has taken sannyasa without proper understanding, no connection with Krishna. It's very, very troublesome, very distressful. Whereas a person who knows what is Krishna, his connection with everything in the material world, yoga yukta is called. Then he is always happy, and very soon he will achieve the perfection of his life. The same line continuing, Krishna says, verse number 7, Yoga Yukta Vishuddhatma, Vijitatma Jitendriyaha, Sarva Bhutatma Bhutatma, Kurvan Apina Lipyate. If you carefully see, Krishna has been using this word Yoga Yukta in the previous verse also. Right? Yoga Yukta means working in devotion to Krishna, which means working in relation for Krishna's satisfaction. Working only for Krishna's satisfaction. It is called Yoga Yukta. It's called Yajna. Right? The Yoga Yukta, why they are, very soon they get going back to spiritual world. Why? Because they are working in a way that they maintain their purity. Whereas anybody who does anything other than Krishna's service is getting entangled. Yoga Yukta Vishuddhatma. Right? Vishuddhatma means, there Krishna Prabhupada says, purified soul. Which means their only intention is, I am spirit soul, everybody are spirit souls, part and parcel of Krishna. You should engage in Krishna's service. Their vision is very pure. They want to hear everybody engage in Krishna's service. We should always understand these verses with Prabhupada as an example. How Prabhupada was working only in devotion. He was a purified soul. Vijitatma Jitendriyaha. Vijitatma Jitendriya means his mind is controlled, his senses are controlled. You could see how Prabhupada was so perfectly controlled personality. I'll just tell one small pastime, Prabhupada's Leela. It's in 1970, 72, 73, somewhere, when Prabhupada was just, had acquired the Bombay land in Juhu, and he was, there was a small setup devotees had made. So one devotee, he was actually cooking for Prabhupada every day. So one day, in the evening, as a snack, he just made that, he boiled the milk and he made paneer, and he just took out and added some honey on that top and gave it to Prabhupada as, like Prabhupada is the evening snack, paneer, offered to Krishna and gave the prasad. So Prabhupada took and he finished everything. So this devotee felt, oh, very nice, Prabhupada likes this. So next day he repeated the same thing. That day Prabhupada didn't eat fully. He ate 50%. Then third day also he repeated, maybe today Prabhupada would be, maybe he's not liking it today. I'll try again tomorrow, you'll like, because first day he finished everything, after all. So third day again, he gave same paneer with honey on it. Right? Then Prabhupada saw that and he didn't even touch it. He called him. See, paneer should be taken once in a week, not every day. Because every day means sense gratification, sense agitation. See? Prabhupada was teaching by example. Vijitatma Jitendriya. So, our food habit doesn't mean every day we should eat chappan boga. Every day we should eat nice paratha, aloo paratha, paneer paratha, go to hotel and big buffet with big spread. No. Eating lavishly, eating anything and everything, no control on tongue, no control on mind. That is not devotion. That is sense gratification. Right? So, okay, once in a while with a festival, some feast is there, prasadam, it's understandable. Not every day. Every day we should have simple food. Healthy food. Simple doesn't mean that we should eat which is not nutritious, healthy food. That's what it means. Nutritious, healthy food offered to Krishna. Okay, that will keep your health proper. Prabhupada says, our duration of life is not reduced because of so many other problems. It is because of our irregular eating habits, irregular diets, and irregular time, irregular way of working, sleeping, all these things, all distracted. Today was the news, headlines. One girl student in IIT, BHU, Varanasi, she's molested. I was going through the article. What is the problem? This girl is gone to meet her boyfriend in the midnight 1:30. That's the time to go and meet. Then you can expect molestation easily. I thought maybe she has gone out of hostel during evening time. No, it is midnight, 1:30. And how can you expect, nobody can do anything for you? Is it safe to go like that? Just see. No control on what you are doing. So this is not called Jitendriya or Vijitatma. Right? So you should, actually that time you're supposed to sleep. And you are going out like a bhoot pret outside. What is the point? And 3 o'clock early morning registering complaint and making a big halla. And there are 2,000 students supporting this. Director should cut down. All, this is what is going on in the modern day context. They think night is meant for waking up and moving around like ghosts. Daytime you should sleep in the class. What is this life? Let's see. Just see the irony now. The time which is meant for you to sleep, that is how the body is made, biological clock. The biological clock is disturbed. Your health is going to get disturbed. What you will think? Where there is time to, even peacefully understand what you are. Right? Forget about yoga yukta. You will not even maintain your proper body. You will very soon become diseased. That is the problem. So, completely going against the Vedic way of life. And for that, there are supporters all over the world. This is the problem. So, Krishna is telling here, one who works in this way, in devotional understanding, is actually a pure soul because he has only one intention of pleasing Krishna, serving Krishna. His mind is controlled, his senses are controlled. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. He is dear to everyone. Right? The Goswamis, 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, about them, very nicely prayers are offered. The very first prayer, Krishna Kirtana Gana Nartana Paro Premamrutam Ho Nidhi Dhira Dhira Janapriyo Priyakaro. 6 Goswamis are so absorbed in devotion to Krishna. They are fully, again, example of Vijitatma, Jitendriya, Vishuddhatma is all coming that one first stanza of the prayers to them. And they are Dhira Dhira Janapriyo Priyakaro. They are very dear to everybody because their only intention is what? How to do welfare to you, how to do good to you. Prabhupada went to the West for what? To benefit everybody there. Right? Compassion on the conditioned souls. Prahlad Maharaj says, I'm not worried about myself, I'm worried about those people who are absorbed in Maya Sukha. I'm worried about them, Krishna. Please save them. That is their compassion. They are not worried about themselves. That is their mood. They are dear to everyone. Why? Because their only concern is how I can benefit you with devotional service to Krishna. He is dear to everyone, everyone is dear to him. Sarva bhutatma bhutatma. Right? So all pure devotees are dear to everyone. Why? Because they are dear to Krishna. They want them to deliver to Krishna. So Krishna says, such a person, even though he is acting, he is always working, 24 hours he is working, but he is not entangled. Very nicely, he says. Such a person who is in this mood of working in devotion, he is actually a sannyasi and he is not entangled. Sannyasa is not simply dress, it is the attitude of service to Krishna. That's the point. Right? So you can see so nicely Krishna explaining all these wonderful concepts here. Next, there are 2 verses, 8 and 9. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukta manyeta tattvavit pashyan shrinvan spishan jigran ashnan gachan swapan shvasan pralapan visrajan grinnan unmishan nimishan napi indriyan indriyarthishu vartanta iti dharyan. So Krishna is very nicely telling here that such a person who is yoga yukta, who is vishuddhatma, which is jitendriya, jitatma, who is pure soul, who is controlled his mind, who is controlled his senses, who is dear to everybody, which means Krishna is telling such a person who is in divine consciousness, yuktaha. Right? Again, Krishna is using the word yuktaha, yoga yuktaha. So, such a person in divine consciousness, he is engaged in any other activity which we are doing, like Pashyan, seeing, Shrindvan, hearing, Sprashan, touching, Jigran, smelling, Ashnan, means by eating, Gachan, moving around, Swapan, dreaming, Shwasan, breathing, then Pralapan, talking, Visajan, means giving up things, Grinan, accepting, with your hands you give something, take something, right? Then Unmishan, Nimishan, opening and closing your eyes, Indriyan Indriyartheshu Vartanta iti Dharyan. Although he is doing all these things like any of us, like Prabhupada was, you would have seen many videos of Prabhupada. Prabhupada is doing like any other normal human being. He's talking, he's laughing, he's opening his eyes, blinking his eyes, doing everything, eating, sleeping, everything. But he's in divine consciousness. Difference is how to see a pure devotee and how to see an ordinary person. What is the difference? A person in divine consciousness, although his all sensual activities look like any other ordinary person, Krishna says, he always knows, pure devotee always knows that only the material senses are engaged in with their objects, but he is aloof from them. Krishna said in 3rd chapter, Ahankara vimudhatma kartahamiti manyate prakrite kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvashaha. Ordinary person thinks, I am doing everything. I am lifting my hand. I am a great speaker. I am a great singer. I am an intelligent person. That's what a ahankara vimudhatma means. Vimudhatma, a foolish person thinks like that. Because out of his false ego. Whereas a person who is awakened in his proper consciousness, divine consciousness, Krishna consciousness, pure ego, but I am part and parcel of Krishna. He knows this body is only an instrument. And this body is acting in a particular way, moving, acting, everything. There's one more phenomena is there, which Krishna will explain later, few verses later. But he knows, I am doing nothing. He is aloof from them. Naiva kinchit karomiti. Very nice understanding. He is actually doing nothing. Then what is he doing? He is only desiring. So this wonderful realization a pure devotee has. Prabhupada says, his Guru Maharaj, his spiritual master used to say, sorry for that interruption. Sorry for the interruption. Again, just kidding. Okay. Hope I was telling Mahatma Gandhi used to say, not even a blade of grass can move without Lord's sanction. So what is my role in any action? My role is to desire. That is the only role I play. And spiritual activity, if it is material, Krishna explains later, acted through nature, to act in that. Like common example, Prabhupada, if you are paralytic, you desire to lift your hand because you That power of lifting the hand has been withdrawn from Krishna. Right? Ordinarily, because Krishna is giving online, we don't realize it. Anytime this whole thing can be taken back. This whole powers what Krishna has given, he'll make you powerless. It's like when there is no power, what happens? Nothing works in your house. No mixie runs, no fan runs, no AC runs, no light runs. Powerless. Power failure. Same thing. Krishna takes out a plug somewhere from here in your body. Over. This is a powerless machine. Just imagine. So devotee, pure devotee knows this much, very much. Prabhupada always used to give this realization to devotees. Often he used to say, anytime anything can happen to me, I'm an old man. But as long as I'm alive, I would like to only preach Krishna consciousness. So this desire of the soul is the real desire. Then the soul has awakened and soul acts. Very important revelation, important realization. So, for that person, a Krishna conscious person, a pure devotee, material activities hardly matter. Happiness, distress, heat, cold, dualities hardly matter. He's not affected by the action reaction, so many things. Some bodily problems doesn't matter. He's fixed up in his service to Krishna. As long as body is there, some maintenance is required, that is done as incidental. Not that, oh, I am sick, oh, big problem, everything is fallen on my sky, all sky is on my head. That is the way you're thinking, then that is difficult. That conscious is what most people are in the material world. Oh, now I am sick means nothing is going to work in the world unless I am cured. Now, that conception is wrong. Okay, some sickness has come, we have to take care of the body. After all, it's the body. You have to move forward. That's the spirit. Which means he is not having bodily consciousness. He is in spiritual consciousness. Because he knows what is my real position. It's a very important verse Krishna is telling. Next verse, connected to this only, Krishna says, in this way, Brahmanyadhaya karmani sangam tektva karoti yaha lipyate nasa papena padma patra vibambhasa. So like this, if you perform your duty without attachment, surrendering the results unto Krishna, he is not affected by sinful reaction, as a lotus leaf is untouched by water. So Krishna is very clearly making a distinction from the beginning of his answer to Arjuna. What was Arjuna's question? What is better? What is most beneficial for me? Sannyasa or work in devotion? Krishna has been telling both are good, but I prefer work in devotion for these reasons. So Krishna is now sort of concluding here, telling how we should work in devotion. Should work in devotion without attachment. This is exactly what Krishna said in the second chapter. Karmanyevadikaraste ma phalesh kadachana. You have a right to perform your duty. You are not entitled to fruits of action. Now, ma phaleshu kadachana. Fruits not entitled, because fruits left to Krishna. What happens is left to him. So Krishna says, you work in this way. When you know that everything is Krishna's, it is for Krishna, it is for his satisfaction. This is the type of consciousness called Brahmani. You work for Brahman, Supreme Lord Krishna. All your work should be for Krishna. Without attachment, any personal motivation, personal, background, personal, agenda, then you are not affected by sinful reaction. Otherwise, you'll be entangled. That's the whole point. So Krishna gives a wonderful example here. Just like the lotus leaf says Padma Patra. Padma is lotus, Patra means leaf. Lotus leaf you have seen, on top it is very clean, neat. Even one drop of water falls, it just flows. Below there is full of kichad. Right? It's full of muck. Lotus grows in that place. But the top is very clean. Krishna gives example to make us understand we should be like this in the material world. Our internal consciousness should be clean like this. We'll be in the material world all, teacher. Material world is like that only. Family people are like that. Her relatives are like that. Whole world is like this, teacher. So, whereas we internally should have this consciousness. If you work in this consciousness, Padma Patra Vivambasa, you will not be touched. You will be untouched by material contamination. That's what Krishna is saying. Very wonderful concept, right? So, even one's material body, the Prabhupada says, is a gift of Krishna. And it is not my body. It is meant for Krishna's service, to take up one type of specific service to Krishna. Right? So if you act in this way, Prabhupada says, you will not be touched by any sinful reaction. Lotus leaf example is to make us understand, if you maintain a pure consciousness, Brahmani consciousness, Krishna consciousness, your consciousness is like this, then even though you're doing so many activities in the material world, for Krishna, you'll not be implicated by sinful reactions. Right? You'll not be contaminated by sinful reactions. Just like it is said, when you are vaccinated, you had COVID vaccine. Even though you're moving around amidst many people who are infected by COVID, you will not get COVID. Either. Any infectious disease also is there, you will not get infected. You may be in the midst of many people having very, degraded consciousness, very low consciousness. Doesn't matter. But you maintain your consciousness. That is the message Krishna is giving us here. So very wonderful understanding Krishna is giving us. He explained the difference between sannyasa without connection to Krishna. It is distressful, it is unhappy. Whereas sannyasa with understanding of Krishna, it is very blissful and is going to give you perfection very soon. And such a sannyasi who is connected to Krishna is called Yoga Yukta. He is purified soul. He is always controlled in his mind and senses. He is dear to everyone. Everyone is dear to him. Which means he's always doing beneficial activity for everybody. And even though he does everything, any activity in the material world, just like Prabhupada did so many activities, he is not entangled like ordinary person. And such a person's divine consciousness knows any sensual activity he is doing, he is not doing, he is aloof from them. He's rather is doing everything in the background, understanding that everything is designing everything for Krishna's service. So anything which is actually conducted for Prabhupada, speaking, eating, talking, anything is transcendental. It may look like any ordinary person, but there is a difference. And like this, Krishna says, if you act in this way, surrendering all results to Krishna without attachment to results, this will free you or relieve you from all sinful reactions, like a lotus leaf untouched by the muck, water. Padma Patru Vivambasa. Okay, this is the conclusion. So I'll stop here. If anybody is going to discuss, comment on what we discussed today, you can take a few things. Yes, Kamaji, you have a question? Sunat Kamaji. No? Clear? 10 verses clear? I'm going to go fast now. Next chapter onwards, I'll go more faster. Okay, you have to keep up with the pace. Very important. That's why I want you to study. I've already done 4 chapters. The 5th chapter, 10 verses over. Another only 19 verses are there. It's a small chapter, not a big chapter. Okay. Fine. If nothing is there, then we'll close now and then we'll continue our discussions next week. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Krishna.